Hey everybody, Kuru Paul here. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about FMM forms, particularly the new electronic FMM that replaced this document. Formally, for you folks who don't know what this is, if you come into Mexico as a tourist, you would fill one of these out. They would give the bottom half to you, and this is what you would carry around. Well, this past year, they started a pilot program at certain international airports, and it's spreading to do away with this form completely. Well, not for everyone, but folks from certain countries, and those countries do include the United States and Canada, which makes it a lot easier, right? You just fly in, you don't have to do any of this paperwork. You give them your passport. If you happen to be a resident, you give them your resident card and the passport, and everything's done electronically. Much easier. Well, what often happens in Mexico is that they will improve one system and it will somehow complicate some other system. And that is what's happened here for some folks that need a printed FMM in order to, for example, complete their immigration process. There may be other circumstances when you need to get a printed copy of your FMM. So in this tutorial, I'm going to go step by step and show you how to do that. Now, before we get started, I just want to send a special thanks to Mark Emmer. He did all the research on this and he sent me a very detailed email that made it much easier for me to create this video. So thank you, Mark. The first thing you need to do is create an account in the INM system. You can do this before you come to Mexico. In fact, it's recommended you do that so you don't have to worry about it later. To do that, go to the URL that's on the screen. You'll also find a link to it in the description portion of the video and pinned to the top of the comments section. Once you've created an account and verified your email, go ahead and log into the system. Under the section Servicios Disponibles, click on Registrar Documentos. Now this is where you're going to be uploading a picture of your passport. It's just going to be the bottom section with all of the information. You have two options to do this. You can take a picture of it using this portal, which I don't recommend, it's kind of awkward, or you can go ahead and upload a picture that you already have. I think that's the best option. So now we need to see if the image was good enough for the system to read it. So we're going to click on Validar Documento. If it all worked out, it's going to bring up another page and you're going to see that your information's been filled in on multiple boxes. There's still some things to fill in. Most of it's just verification that the passport number is correct, the date of issuance, the date of expiration, things like that. On the upper left, the first box you come to says Tipo de Relación. And basically this is who's filling out this document. If this is your passport, you're going to choose Titular de la Cuenta. If you're doing this for a family member, you could choose Familiar. And if you're doing it for a friend, you can choose Amigo. Now under this one for Clasificación Documento, you're going to select Ordinario. When you're sure everything's correct, come down here and do the CAPTCHA. I find this to be the most difficult part of any website I go to because I rarely get it right the first time. If you have multiple family members or friends traveling with you, they don't have to create their own account. You can use just one account. All you have to do is go back in and repeat the steps for entering their documents and their information. Well, now you're all set up in the system and you don't have anything else to do until you get to Mexico. All right, let's fast forward and you have arrived in Mexico. You flew into one of the airports that no longer does any of those handwritten FMM forms, but you're going to need a copy of an FMM because let's say you're completing your residency process. As far as going through immigration, nothing changes there for you to do this. You don't have to say anything to them. After you've already gotten in the country and you've been entered in the system, go ahead and log back into that INM portal. On the home page, you're going to hit Ingresa a Mexico. Under Documentos Registrados on the lower left, click the little down arrow and you should see your passport and the passports of anyone else you registered under your account. Click on the desired passport, then click the green Iniciar Servicios button. On the next page, you're going to hit the center of that picture down there that says FMMD. You should see the flight you arrived on listed. If you don't, sometimes it takes a few days for it to show up. Okay, you just have to log in later. Over here on the right, under Generar FMMD, you're going to see a check mark. Just click on that. Close that pop-up and click on the second tab that says FMMD Descargar. The flight line should now have a little green box with a down arrow on the right side. Click on that and you'll be able to download a PDF version of your electronic FMM. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And until next time, hasta luego.